Good evening and welcome to the Trading the Tech Show. My name is Derek for iLi Academy, and today is uh, Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. It is election night here in America, not here because I'm actually in Brazil. So it is election night in America. And so we're probably going to be up a little bit late into the night watching what is going on. I'm sure it's probably one of the most watched events this year. I'm sure everybody's kind of tuned in one way or another, whether it be their television screens or they're on the internet. Many people across the world are concerned about America and the direction that it's taking, and they're trying to decipher what's going to happen going forth. And from basically tonight's results or tomorrow, whenever we get them, into next year and the next coming years, everybody's kind of watching. So the entire world is involved in this process at this point in time. I've gotten a lot of interest here, even in Brazil, from individuals who are curious and they're asking questions about the system, students who are asking a lot of questions as well. So I think this is very interesting because it's causing some volatility for us in our market, in the Forex market. So we're going to go over this. Now, typically on a big news event like this, we don't recommend you jumping in and trading. It's not a normal time. So typically on big news events and things like that, I kind of try to stay out of the fray. If you're a manual trader, I would stay out of the fray because it can, make you a little bit crazy. We've had a lot of kind of whipsawing back and forth a little bit. Strong moves one way, a strong move another way, and then it's just confusing for people. So I think that tonight, if you're manually trading, I would stay out of the game right now. I'm watching the auto traded accounts just to see where we are, to make sure that we're okay as well. So we're going to start going through the charts now, so that everybody can kind of get back to their coverage. But this Aussie CAD here we're looking at, we're trading above our 720 now. So all we're really doing is waiting for our moving averages to get above the 720 and then, confirm that we're trending upwards, right? We've got pretty much a full trend already in effect, but our moving averages are below the moving averages of the 200 and the 100 are below the 720. The 50 just kind of creeped over the 720, so that's a good sign, but we're just going to kind of wait for this to develop first. The rate actually went very, very high here, up here almost to 94, in the 94.50s area, and before retreating right back. So to where we are now, which is about 94.10. So right now we don't have an order to buy just yet. We don't have a deep enough pullback, and we don't have our moving averages over the 720 just yet. As far as the Aussie yen, we've got our full trend to the upside, but the same situation is here. We've got our 200 and our 100 sitting here below our 720. And the 50 kind of jumped over just a little while ago, and we had climbed up a little bit, peaked out up here around the 75, almost 75.50, and now we're trading at 74.70. So we've dropped back about 30 pips from the high. So right now we don't have a trade here that we're going to take just yet. We will, once our 100 and our 200 jump over our 720. The Aussie New Zealand, we had a big move up today, or at least yesterday's trading day. We had a giant move up. We actually were able to capitalize on some of that as well and some of the accounts. And we have a full trend to the upside. The only thing is our 50, our 100, and our 200 are still below the 720. So we're going to see if we return to a situation where we're shorting here, or if we continue to move up on after today. Still only Tuesday, so there's a lot of room and a lot of time in the market. So being that it's election night, you don't want to go jumping into a lot of stuff just because. I think we need to just be careful around the news event itself. Aussie US, here we go. On a 30-minute chart, we can see that our moving averages are in order to the upside. So we do have trend here. but we don't have full trend or a mature trend because our 200, our 100 have not jumped over the 720. The 100 is trying to make, do its best right now to get over, but the 200 is still kind of far behind. So we definitely would have to have some serious movement up before that 200 actually jumps over the 720. So this is a one that we're just waiting on at this point in time. We have to just kind of wait that out and see what the situation plays out to be. As far as the CAD yen, we're trading above the 720. We got order to the upside here. So we were waiting for pullbacks past our 100 or our 50. So we got the 50, 50's up here, and then our 100 is here. So if we were being a little aggressive, we could place an order here to buy here or to buy on the 50. So I think it's smarter to maybe buy on the 50 just because being on the 100 is going to be tough, because we're so close right now. The 100 is right around 79.40s, right? Let's see if we can get it to pop up here. Well, the box didn't pop up on us yet, but it's around the 79.40s area, and the rate is like 79.35 or something. So putting the buy order on the 50 makes more sense because it's a little more conservative for us, a little more safe. As far as the Swiss yen goes, we got this nice move up to the 720 just recently, and now we are falling back. We fell back. Now we're past the 50, and maybe we're headed for the 100 here. If I was going to buy in this situation, which I'm not because we're below our 720, then I'd be looking at buying at that point in time. But right now, not so much. Our orders should have already, as the rate went up to the 720, our order should have already been at least maybe on this 21 or maybe even the 50. As far as the Euro Aussie, we have full mature trend to the downside. That hasn't really changed here. We've actually continued our move down. And so we've got some good direction on that. We've got widening between the moving averages here too. So it's kind of open. So we're just waiting on pullbacks past our 50 or maybe past the 100 in order to short. We did trade away from our 50. So if you look at this, we traded quite a bit away from it. So I think now it's kind of doing our snack back to the 50. It'll probably touch the 50 at some point here soon. Euro CAD, we've got kind of a similar situation. We've got a mature trend to the downside. The only thing that's kind of tangled up is the 21 and the 8, but that's really to be expected. We've got a nice width between the moving averages here. So we're just setting it up so you can be, it's kind of setting up so you can be ready to take an order here. We did trade back to the 100, and so we'll be looking at maybe a short on the 50. That would have been our point where we could enter. So we're going to see if because we're trading to the right here. So if we're really in just a true range here, we will go up to the 100 again, probably, or somewhere in this area and make it, possible to take an order maybe on the 50 or a little bit lower. On the Euro Swiss, we are trading below our 720. So rate is well below the 720 now. It was going up here. So it did jump over the over our 50. We saw the rate jump over the 50 and the 200, all of that is kind of tangled in there, but it jumped over that and headed up to the 720. So that would have been our point to short. So we had it here. We had it that high here. We had it here as well. And that would have been our indentation to short on the 50 or maybe say the 200 or the 100. And so had we done that, we would have been profitable even right now. As far as the Euro pound goes, we are in a full mature trend to the downside. You can see we got the separation here, which is nice. So the rate is getting away from the 50 there, but like all good things, it comes to an end. It had to, pull back towards the 50. So right now we're just waiting for more pullbacks towards the 50. We've got several areas where this has occurred, and all of them would have been profitable. Euro yen on our 30-minute chart here. We see that we went all the way up to the 720, tested that, and it held as a resistance and kind of pushed us away. And now we've kind of whipsawed back the other direction. So we'll see what the opportunity is here once all of this clears up, because this big move here and then a big move engulfing it. just signifies that the volatility of the election is in play. And so this is one of the reasons why we'd want to not take too many orders, you know, at this particular time. We want to be really, really sure about our entry at this point, because the market's just going to be a little bit crazy, frankly. So Euro New Zealand, we have mature trend to the downside. All of the moving averages are in order. And we're just waiting on pullbacks. The last one we got was yesterday. We did get one where we pulled back to the 100 and we would have shorted on the 50. We would have been in good shape for that because we would have made money. Euro US rate is trading below our 720. We're trying to make trend to the upside. Just our 200 just has to kind of come in play. So this is not, fully developed yet. Where rate is not above the 720. So my idea is a short. So the only opportunity would have been the short on this 200 or this 50, or maybe this 50 even. Pound Aussie. We see that we do have a trend to the downside. If we go ahead and, this particular one I don't think has the 720 on it. So I can add it. Let me go ahead and insert indicators, trend, moving average. And in the box, I'm going to type 720. It's exponential. I always leave it to the close. And then I can go out here, something like this pink, right? Deep pink. All right, so let's click on that. And you can see my 720 has been added to the chart here. So it's kind of, rate has kind of fallen below it. We've got our 100 about to jump below it. And we got the 200 just behind there, just kind of lagging behind just to see what occurs. We've got the rate kind of finding a floor here, but then jumping up again. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see how far past this 50 we can get. If we can get deep enough past the 50, we may place an order on the 50 for a short, or maybe on this 21. Because the other moving averages are still above our 720. So there's not a whole lot we can do there right now. All right, pound CAD. I think this is going to be the same scenario. So we're going to go here and we're going to add in the moving average. All right, so you see that flow, right? You can see under insert, you've got indicators. This is on your MetaTrader 4. You've got indicators, then you go to trend, then you go to moving averages. And you click on that, and it's going to bring up your dialog box. Now, since we already have the 720, we just used it. The system will keep that same information. We don't need to change anything. We just hit OK, and it will land on our chart. Now you can see that it's kind of moseying along across the center as the other one was as well. Let me go ahead and make this wider. You can see that the rate now just jumped over our 720. So this is not convincing right now just yet. We're going to see if the uptrend develops, if that's really what it's trying to do, or if it's trying to really just jump down, jump down below the 720 again and back into this trend that was being created. So we'll see what happens. So the only thing that I have for an order here may be a short, maybe on this 50 here. That might be the opportunity for us. As far as the pound Swiss goes, let's see, let's go ahead and throw on our moving average here because we don't want to even start unless we have the right tools on. There we go. We can see that we're above this 720 line here. Rate is well above that. We've got a nice clear trend going on here, nice mature trend going on. So looking at this, we'd be looking at pullbacks past our 50 or past our 100. So we kind of got one a little past the 50. We may have been able to drop it there on the 21, and then hopefully that will take us up from there. Pound yen on the 30-minute chart, we can see that we're that looks like we should be trading above. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Most likely we are above. Oh, that's not what I want. I want envelopes. Indicators, trend, moving averages. I don't know how I got envelopes, but okay, here we go. And it's still there, 720. So we're going to click OK. And here it is, right? So we traded above, well above the 720, but our moving averages were all below. And when we got that angle away from the 50, it still came back and touched the 50. So you can see where that would be an idea for us, right? But our moving averages right now, so since we're not, the moving averages aren't all above the 720, I could still place an order on maybe this 100 or this 200 for a short, just to make sure that the rate commits before it puts me into the trade. Pound US, kind of the same situation, right? Let's go see what happens when we put our 720 in. It's probably going to look very, very similar. Yeah, floating right through here to the middle, right? So we traded above the 720. Our moving averages are starting to jump over the 720. The 200 is not far behind the 100 that just jumped over, but it's still not a mature trend yet. It's still kind of a full trend going on. So if we get more, more movement below the 50 moving average, then that's where we'd be interested in buying. But we probably want to see all of the moving averages jump over first. For the New Zealand CAD, we are trading above our 720, and then the rate has backed up over the 200, over the 100, over the 50. So right now we don't have an order entry here. We don't want to force anything, especially on election night, because we don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like it may resume the uptrend here, but we would need a pullback before we could get involved. And we want to see this kind of really develop first. So if you're marking that one down, that's a developmental trade, maybe, maybe on your D list that you're kind of watching, but you're just waiting to see what happens. New Zealand Swiss, we've got a nice trend, trend to the upside here. It's a full mature trend here, getting some widening going on. That's great. So we're going to see how the election affects this. Does it go down, past our 100 and then allow us to give us an opportunity to buy, or is it going to completely turn around and then we're looking at sales? For the New Zealand yen, let's go here. I don't know, I didn't open. Okay, there we go. All right, the New Zealand yen, we are trading above our 720 here. Rate is actually approaching the 720 now, but it's falling below our 50. So if we're going to continue on in the upward direction, my entry order would probably have to be on the 200 here, to buy, because rate is above the 720. It looks like our 100 is just kissing those 720 right now. It hasn't jumped over yet, just kind of running alongside it. And the 200 is coming up behind. Our stochastic here just reached 80, and it's been a gradual road. It hasn't been like, one lump sum. It's been a gradual roll. So I have a feeling that we might continue on. So we'll have to see what this looks like after this kind of develops. Our 100 and our 200 kind of jump over the 720. As far as the New Zealand US, kind of the same situation. You can see that we got full trend here, but then we've got candlesticks coming down, and we've touched below the 50, but we didn't quite close there, or we didn't get too many candles below it, too much space. So once we do that, then we can buy on this 200 in order to be taking up into the trade if it continues to advance. US dollar CAD is trading below the 720. Now it had this big recovery today, but it pulled away from the 50, and then it tends to recoil back through those same areas. So it's past our 50 right now. So we could drop an order on this 50 to sell. If you want to use the 21, that's even more ambitious, conservative, but we can do this 50. The 50 is a fine place to be able to place that short. As far as the dollar Swiss goes, we are trading above our 720. We just kind of came from there. We went down below it, and now we're bounced back above it. So we should really be looking for buy trades at this point in time. We're currently on the 50, so I don't know that I'd start there, but maybe on this 100, I'd start with a small position and just see what happens with it. Okay, you're US dollar yen. All right, we're trading well below our 720. That's a good, good distance away. Our moving averages are all kind of stuck in this small little area here because if you think about it, no one can really move around. Um, so we're kind of just stuck in this area here, right? So the bulls are not in control, the sellers are not in control, or the bears are not in control either. They're just kind of hanging out on these moving averages. So we're going to kind of wait for this to straighten out and show us some direction before we start looking for our pullbacks or maybe a catapult type trade for it. So that's all of our charts for tonight. We're going to go a little bit early because we're going to check out the election, the presidential election, just to try to watch what the results are as they come in state by state. I hope everybody can be fine with whatever the result is. I think we just have to realize that we're going to have to move forward one way or another. So we just need to be happy with whatever result we get, and just keep on going. I think our personal lives are more important. I think we take care of ourselves personally. We don't have to worry so much about what's going on governmentally, even though we want to assist. So it's not something that we want you know we want to be involved in it and feel like we're heard. So I think that's the most important thing. But most of us really can concentrate on bettering our trading, bettering the ideas that we have, and creating the business around our trading. We can concentrate on those things because it doesn't matter really so much what the country's doing, as long as it's not burning all down all the way around us. We still have to kind of work and find our income and our money. So this is one way that we can continue to do that. So I appreciate you coming and checking out our show and learning the strategies and learning how it is that I think when I'm analyzing trades and getting some good ideas of what to do. So thanks a lot. We're going to go ahead and get this set up and plugged into the web. And then we'll be back here in the morning for the Daily Market Overview Show. Once again, my name is Derek. This is iLi Academy, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.